What up? Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you guys all had a great holiday season with your families. This week we are working on this coffee bar. I'm going to show you how we went from this to this right here. All right, so if you're interested and you want to see how we did this, stick around, guys. Alright guys, so this is about like 95% done. We have some touch-ups on the paint that we still need to do, but we're going to do that all together at once with the whole kitchen. I am thinking about adding some shelving back here, but I'm not sure yet. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if we should add some shelving. And that's it. Oh, and the hardware. We got to add the hardware, of course. But again, we're going to do that all at once we get the flooring in and everything. And all the hardware goes on the kitchen. We'll do it all at once. But that's about it. Alright guys, so we started by measuring the pieces of wood that we're using. I'm using all scraps that we had left over from other parts of the house. And we are measuring the width that we need to make a square that will be used to hold up the countertop. And we started by drilling some pocket holes into it so that we can make our square, and joining all the pieces together using the pocket holes and the wood glue. Once my square was done, then I added this leg for support. Same thing, I used some wood glue and pocket screws to hold it together. This will form the front left corner of my cabinet base, and here we're just trying to see if it fits and get it level. So after a little bit of working with it, we got it level. We attached some screws to the existing cabinet, and then we also screwed a couple of 3-inch screws into the studs that are on the wall to make sure that it would hold the countertop weight. I added a piece at the bottom just so that I could nail my side wood paneling to it. And here I just grabbed a piece of 2x4 wood paneling from Home Depot, I believe. It was like 1/4 inch plywood, sanded, and we cut it to fit. We just used the regular handsaw to cut it. We fit it, made sure it fit. Once we got it on there, I just used the Porter cable brad nailer to nail it in to all the little edges that I left. And then I decided to add a piece of wood to the very bottom, glue it down to the concrete with some construction adhesive so that I would have some extra support on that leg. And then we went ahead and started filling all the cracks and all the holes with wood filler. We are wanting this to look like all one big piece, so we filled all the gaps. I had a few bigger gaps. Alright guys, so I put the wood filler and we're gonna let it dry. Gotta let it dry before we sand, but that's it. I really kind of went off of the one they built over here for the fridge. I kind of looked at what they did, which is they just built like the side as a support, and that's all I really went and did. But I used all scraps because I didn't want to go buy any more wood, and it came out all right. I had to do a little extra wood filler, but I just used all the scraps from our trim in our back rooms that we had to finish that up. And then once we sand it right now, it'll look like it's part of the cabinets here. Alright, so after everything was sanded and everything was dry, we went ahead and painted all the new wood to match with the existing cabinet color. This color is called Silverado Sage, and it is one of the Magnolia Homes colors. We use a couple other colors, or actually all 3 of our colors are from the Magnolia collection. We picked up this countertop. This is a butcher block countertop, We picked it up at Lowe's and it was on clearance. Normally these are like $350 around there, and we picked this up for about $160. And we are staining, or actually we're sealing using a butcher block sealant and just a regular staining rag. So this sealant is food grade, so you can use this as a preparing surface if you use this sealant. Alright guys, yesterday we put a coat of this sealant on the butcher block counter here, and that's going to be the bottom part. I'm probably going to have to do another coat here in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it so that we don't cut it after it's sealed on both sides. So we are going to use, I marked my distance, and then I used this drywall ruler to make a line. And we're using the Craig AccuCut. If you haven't seen my review, check it out. The link will be down below. And so we're gonna cut it, and then we'll flip it and we'll seal both sides again, and then we'll set it over here once it dries on the counter. Alright guys, so while this dries, we're going to go over here to the miter saw and we're going to cut some little braces for the cabinets, which will be used to hold the countertop onto the cabinet. So let's jump over there. Alright guys, so we set aside our countertop. These are our little corner braces. So we're just going to make some pocket holes here for them to grab onto the cabinets just with this single one, and put two on each side. And then we'll attach them to the cabinet. Alright, so we got our corner braces in, and next we just set the countertop on here. We're using 1.5 inch cabinet screws. These have the star tip on them. Alright, and we're using washers, so any washer will work. This is just going to go through here so that this head doesn't go through the hole here that we have here. And that little hole is going to be a little bit bigger than this. It's just going to give the wood space to expand, because it is a wood countertop, so it will contract and expand. So that little hole in there just gives this enough wiggle room for it to move around as the wood contracts and expands. So we're going to go ahead and get the countertop on here, and then we will get it attached. Alright, once we got the countertop set on here, we just measured the edge and make sure that we had the same amount sticking out on both sides, and then we went ahead and just added the screw to the bottom of this, and we ended up doing 6 of the little corner braces, so it has 6 screws holding it, which should be enough. Pretty simple to install these wood countertops. I did have to remove some of the drawer slides to be able to get access to put the screws in. And after this, we added all the hinges to the doors, and we installed all the drawers back, all the shelves for the pantry. Bar.
Hi, Blackie.
Alright, so originally we were just gonna leave like it is right here in this video with the wall painted, but then my wife decided she wanted to add tile, So we went ahead and started leveling and doing our prep for tile. Here we're just adding the bottom board that's gonna hold our tile up while we work our way up. All right guys, so we got our middle marked off right there, and then we got this little starting board. We just used some finish nails. We sanded this because we had painted it. Originally it was just gonna be painted, and then we added this little board and we leveled it. You can see. And so that's just where we're gonna start our tile. All right, so thankfully my brother was in town this week for Christmas and all the holidays. So I had a little bit of help. This was done over about 4 or 5 different days. We just had to give things time to dry, and we had to do certain parts one day, certain parts the other day, just because of stuff going on with the holidays. So it took a long time. That's why you see me in a bunch of different shirts. And here we have our tile. We're placing it. We're already on holiday mode, so we have TV going on in the background, just kind of taking it slow. This was the day before Christmas Eve, so we're just kind of relaxing, spending some time together. Here we're putting our tile edge, and we made it go all the way up to the edge of that trim, and it's just going to be a bronze black. And here we are finishing that wall up. The hardest part on these is always the little cuts around the outlets and lights, is what I think is the hardest. Alright, and here we have our finished tile, just missing the grout. Alright guys, so we're just cleaning off any extra of the mastic that we can see and getting ready to do the grout today. So we let this one has been dry for like 4 days, and the rest of the kitchen has been drying overnight. It'll be 24 hours here in a couple of hours, and we'll go ahead and get started with the grout. Alright, so the grout we're using is a non-sanded grout, and we went with the color called Avalanche. It's like a kind of off-white. And of course our tile is just classic 3x6 subway tile, and we added the grout, cleaned it off. I think I did like 2 or 3 cleans with my sponge. And here's our final result, guys. Did go back and add this little wood trim at the bottom of the tile. It's just a 1x4 cedar backsplash. Alright guys, there you have it. That is how we made our little coffee bar here. So this is going to be where we have our coffee station, our cups, maybe a glass of wine or something down here. But we decided last minute we wanted to add this mini fridge for stuff like that. And we're still gonna add some shelving up here, but I wanted to do that a separate video. So I went ahead and decided to drop this. This is ready. We have some touch-ups on the paint that we still have to do, but we are going to do this whole kitchen together once we're ready to do the touch-ups. We got flooring coming in this week and a bunch of different things, guys. So thank you guys for watching, and if you like, please hit that like down below, that subscribe. I really appreciate it, and it just helps the channel grow. So thank you guys for watching.